GRINDSET, inside the mind of successful entrepreneurs with your host, Cynthia Daniels and Williams Brack.
Welcome to another episode of GRINDSET. I'm your host, Cynthia Daniels, Chief Event Strategist of Cynthia Daniels and Company.
And I'm Williams Brack, your favorite banker.
And today we have Kinyah Braddock. She is the founder of Be Chill Lemonade. This young lady is 11 years old, and she's been in business already for about 3 years. So I'm super excited to talk with her today.
I mean, it's quite impressive. In 2014, my son and I had a lemonade stand for one day during the summer. But Kinyah has turned her lemonade process into a business. And so I'm really looking forward to interviewing Kinyah and the Be Chill family. You're listening to GRINDSET, and we'll be right back with Be Chill Lemonade.
GRINDSET.
I'm Cynthia Daniels, host of GRINDSET. Are you looking to start a business? Do you need tips on how to scale up? Get it on GRINDSET. On this show, our guests will keep you listening. What's your GRINDSET? If you happen to miss some of our episodes, make sure you check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast provider.
GRINDSET on the KUDZUKIAN Network. KUDZUKIAN.
We are super excited to have Kinyah Braddock, CEO of Be Chill Lemonade, in the building with us. Welcome to the GRINDSET podcast.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, welcome. I'm looking forward to a very chill interview.
Yes, and I think this is probably the youngest interviewer we've had in the studio. So I know we're going to have a lot of fun. She has a lot of energy.
Yes.
And we're going to jump right into it, right? So tell us, what is Be Chill Lemonade and how did you get it all started?
Be Chill Lemonade is an all-natural lemonade. And then we have different flavors. We have original, coconut, mango, strawberry, peach, blueberry, and pineapple.
Wow.
And then I started Be Chill Lemonade when I was 6 years old. My dad challenged me to have my own company.
Okay.
And so that's what kind of inspired me to create my own.
Okay, so at 6 years old, your dad just said, hey, Kinyah, start your own company? Like, tell me a little bit more about that.
So my dad and my parents have always been very held about having your own and being your own boss. Mm-hmm. And so when they instilled that in me, like for 2 straight years, because I didn't start my company until I was 8.
Wow.
For 2 straight years, I was that was all
You focused.
That was all my focus on it.
Okay.
Didn't do anything else.
Okay.
2 straight years.
And then lemonade. Why lemonade?
Ooh, I always say that I didn't choose lemonade. Lemonade chose me.
Oh, wow. Tell me more.
Because I honestly did not think about lemonade at all. I originally had a plan to do ice cream.
Homemade ice cream?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Be a dentist. Like, lemonade was not on my list, at all.
Okay.
The farthest thing, because most kids did it, and I wanted to be different.
I know I had a lemonade stand.
So
you have a company. Keep going.
But yeah, so when I decided, hey, I'm going to do lemonade, I was like, what's going to set me different from everybody else?
Mm-hmm.
And that's my flavors.
Yes, because I really, my mouth watered a little bit when you named all those flavors. So what was step 1 to starting this lemonade company for you?
Well, it was a plan. Well, getting our name out there, that's the first thing we did. We made 60 flyers, and we put them in our neighborhood on their cars.
Okay.
So getting our name out there, letting us be known.
Okay.
But that
Major key alert. Let people know you're in business.
Hello?
Yes. So no one can do business with you if they don't know that you exist. So.
That's dropping gems already in the first segment. So how did you finance Be Chill Lemonade? Did you sit down and write out a business plan with the parents?
My mom made me do 40 gallons of lemonade before I even,
Like the old school way of twisting lemons and hand squeezing.
She was just
my God.
I'm not putting my hard work in this if you're not going to be in it.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing.
Okay.
Then, like you said, the business plan,
yes.
Creating a plan, what are we going to do? What's the next step? Mm-hmm. Even in the car, what's the next step? So that was the first thing.
Okay. And did you just start with one flavor and test that out, or did we? She's like, no. How many?
Absolutely not.
You jumped all the way in to set yourself apart. I love that.
And so here on GRINDSET, you can start a lemonade and have a lemonade stand. So what turned making lemonade into an actual lemonade business?
Well, we started doing gallons, right?
Okay.
So our first customer, she ordered 5. not thinking that this was going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
We were just like, okay. Then she ordered flavors. We were like, because I had only made 1 cup.
Oh.
And so we were just like, what are we going to do now?
Yeah.
What's the plan?
Okay.
So making sure, turning it from a stand to a company is very difficult because people will keep putting you back into a stand. We never got it on the corner. We didn't do anything that a stand would do. So making sure the difference. Every time someone says it's a lemonade stand, I'm just like, no company. Yeah. So making sure that it's known. Having our own business, well, our first brick and mortar company, like building, really set it apart because people were like, oh, it's not a stand anymore. It's like an actual store.
Okay.
So people being able to see it and visualize it.
Yeah. And so as a family unit, how did you start to involve your parents and the Be Chill family all together?
Well, first because my dad was the one who gave me the challenge, and my mom was the one that actually asked me, hey, is this something that you want to do? So knowing that I couldn't do it by myself, they were right there beside me. Demetrius over here, come on, team, get it together.
Now,
keep pushing through.
Who is Demetrius?
Demetrius is actually the manager and my brother. So he's a very important part.
How old is he currently?
He's 7. 7.
Okay, we'll definitely have to get him to say a few things as manager in the next segment for sure. I'm excited to meet him.
And who else is on the team?
Like I said, my 3 crew over here. My grandmother. Let's see, my Aunt Terry, Aunt Ellen, things like that. They're like kind of like our backup. But then we have my parents here, Valerie and Demetrius. Oh, that felt weird. I don't normally call them by their names. And Demetrius, the second.
Yeah. And so how does the family dynamic work? Because it is family, but you still have the parent-child relationship as well.
We do. We try and keep both lives separate.
Okay.
When it's go time, business time, she's not my mom. She's not.
Okay. She's part of the team.
Yes,
okay.
She's part of the team. When it comes to my dad, same thing. When we're in business mode, I'm not your mother. I'm going to tell you like it is. Then when she gets it in me, she's just like, on a separate note, she's like, hey, on the soft side, and then there's a hard side. So there's 2 separate parts of everybody.
I love that. And so I'm curious to know, what advice would you give to any other young person listening to this podcast right now if they want to start a business?
That if I can do it, you can do it too. I'm 11. If I'm up here, doing my thing, being in the being in stores, being in restaurants, being in the Wolf Chase Mall, awesome. Being in the Hickory Ridge Mall, then you can too. And just no matter what anybody tells you, keep pushing forward, because if you find something that you're really passionate about, you're going to do everything that it takes to be able to accomplish your dream.
Now, here on GRINDSET, one of the things we like to talk about is the journey. And Be Chill actually technically started in Jackson, Mississippi.
Yes.
But you've since moved to Memphis. Why the migration north for the business? Why was that a good business decision? Well,
it was a good business decision because the business was getting so big that we needed the support of our family. So that's why we moved.
And so now you're in Hickory Ridge Mall, you're in Wolf Chase Mall. And so we're going to talk about operating the business from your house versus operating businesses in malls when we get back after the break. You've been listening to GRINDSET, and we'll be right back.
GRINDSET.
Hi, this is Leslie Lynn Smith, President and CEO of Epicenter. We're so proud to partner with KUDZUKIAN to bring you GRINDSET, which takes you inside the mind of some of Memphis's up-and-coming entrepreneurs. That's why I check out GRINDSET, and why you should too. Download the KUDZUKIAN app to listen, or find GRINDSET on your favorite podcast provider.
KUDZUKIAN!
Welcome back to GRINDSET. We're here with Kinyah Braddock, founder of Be Chill Lemonade, and we also have the Be Chill family in the house. Would you guys mind introducing yourself, your role, and your responsibilities at the company?
I am Valerie Braddock. I am Kinyah's mom, COO of Be Chill Lemonade, and my responsibilities are the end all be all, whatever it takes. That's what I do.
Typical of the small company. That's good.
Hi, my name is Demetrius, and my part is to make sure everything is okay, and I'm the manager.
And how old are you, Demetrius? The listeners need to know.
7 years old.
Okay, thank you.
And my name is Demetrius also. I'm Daddy. I'm the CFO, and I'm there to make sure that there is money to make this, to allow this to keep running.
And I'm Demetrius the second, by the way.
Okay. So, when you guys started as a family business, what was the first 12 months like for you guys? And be very transparent, because I'm sure there are other families that are thinking about, should I work by myself? Should I bring in my brother, sister, parents? What did that look like for you guys?
So I think I can speak a little bit on it.
Okay.
It was very hectic because we had done nothing like this before.
Okay.
Trying to figure it out. Involving family. We did not want to involve family other than us four.
Your immediate family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But what happened was we realized that we needed the support of our family. And so we put that aside, and they come and help whenever they're needed. And so we really appreciate that. So I think that it's good to have family around as support-wise, but some things you can do by yourself.
I would say, or add to Kinyah, financially, it was very difficult.
Okay.
It was very difficult because we had already relocated to Jackson from Nashville, and we lost about $75,000 in our income in the transition because I gave up my whole salary for law school. Mm-hmm. My husband took a pay cut to teach in Mississippi.
Okay.
So to start a business on basically pennies, nickels, and dimes, and to see where we are now is unbelievable. It's definitely a faith walk. I remember buying groceries. I don't want to cry. I remember buying groceries.
That's part of being an entrepreneur. Crying
for my family
so
with pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters, and it taken me 45 minutes. To pay for $78 in food. Mm-hmm. But I would go at night, like at midnight, because I was so embarrassed that we had got to this place. But then I was so grateful that I had change. Mm-hmm. And so then I believe we learned how to cook with crumbs.
Wow.
I remember it like yesterday.
Do you? And I understand everybody has their own role in the company. How did you guys come to that decision?
Well, my place was kind of set in place for me.
Okay.
I don't know about everybody else, but I have my specific, title to my name.
Well, I do believe that everything is divine. I went to law school, so operationally, I was already being trained and conditioned to understand contracts, research, NDAs, different legal things that needed to be done. My previous experience was a teacher, so I understood public speaking, presentation, putting things together, captivating the audience. So I brought those things to the table. Wanted to make sure that Demetrius played a part in understanding that he was important too. Mm-hmm. He got the title of manager, which gave him a sense of ownership and responsibility.
Right.
My husband, Demetrius, first degree is accounting. So
gotta have an accountant.
Financially,
like the Jacksons
he was
over here.
sound, right? And so he also taught, at the time, he was teaching personal finance, business law, business communications, marketing. So he was teaching. We were doing things and not understanding that what we were doing and what we've been positioned to do was all the ingredients necessary for the recipe of success that she experienced now.
So for the GRINDSET audience, you were doing things that already had a real world application to it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So Demetrius the second, how have you kind of stepped up and been responsible with your manager role?
Actually, I really don't know.
You really don't know?
I don't even know what you mean.
So
what is it like being a manager in the company?
Oh yeah.
It's really hard.
So tell us, what is a typical day as a manager?
Sometimes it is hard to do what the owner says because the owner can get really, really mad sometimes.
Okay.
But from my perspective, she's really nice.
Okay.
And it's really hard to, like, get stuff like that.
Like perfect. It won't be perfect the first time.
Yes, and most of the things I'm glad to be a manager, I just want to make sure my family is safe.
That's amazing.
It's been a lot of killing out there.
So It sounds like you've benefited from some good parenting. And so, Father Demetrius, Mr. Senior, talk about your role as CFO and how you make sure this thing is running properly. Because money is the lifeblood of a company and accounting is the language of business.
So from a father point of view,
yep.
I have to make sure that not only the business is running, but my family is running. Mm-hmm. So when we look at the finances of that, the family is more important. If we are trying to do an event,
okay,
we got to make sure that everybody eats. So trying to budget a house, trying to budget a company is hard because in some senses, there is only one parent.
Right.
So when we look at that single parent, whatever gender it may be, it's hard to actually jump into the idea of entrepreneurship because your money is stretched so thin.
Right.
Well, it almost appears that we're operating also as one income. Mm-hmm. So that understanding how to sacrifice for the greater good. We're looking for the longevity, so we have to make decisions based off of which one is going to take us to that next versus looking at what's going to happen right now. When I have to look at breakfast, lunch, and dinner,
right,
you're looking at the right now. But can I skip a snack that can actually help pay for ingredients that can get us to tomorrow? Those are the things that I have to make sure that we do so that the company has longevity and that my family is taken care of right now in the present.
Well, great answer. So here on GRINDSET, you at least survived the first 12 months.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how many years have you been in business now?
3. We're going into our 4th.
Congratulations.
So we're going into the 4th year of business. You're in two malls, and we have a special announcement right after the break. You've been listening to GRINDSET, and we'll be right back with more Be Chill Lemonade.
GRINDSET. Riffin' on jazz.
When two friends get together to kick it
about jazz, it's called Riffin' on Jazz.
Catch us riffing on jazz every week right here on your favorite broadcast or podcast platforms.
Riffin' on jazz on the KUDZUKIAN Network. KUDZUKIAN! GRINDSET on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
We're back with the Be Chill Lemonade family. They just told us in the last segment that they are in multiple locations. So I want to find out a little bit more in terms of where you're located. Is there a difference between one location than the other? Like, give us that experience.
Well, in the one mall that we're in, which is the Wolf Chase Mall, it's like an actual mall rather than the Hickory Ridge Mall, which is like a town center now.
Oh, okay.
So that's a huge difference between the two.
Okay.
And then our location, which is the stores, Makita's Cookies, and then Mardi Gras. Hope I pronounced that right. One is cookies, and then one is like food. So
wait, you have lemonade and cookies? What do you mean? Break that. Help me understand.
And Makita's Cookies, that's what they serve. They sell cookies and stuff.
And we had them on the show. Okay.
Shout out to Makita's.
Yes.
Homemade butter cookies. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And so what do you do with your lemonade?
Well, we give them what they need, the lemonade. Well, more like lemon juice for their pies. So.
You're kidding.
It's amazing though. Their pies are the best. Yeah. I love them.
Shout out to the Makita's homemade butter cookie lemon pies.
Yes.
And then what's the Mardi Gras? What do you do with Mardi Gras?
Mardi Gras, they use it for drinks, so it's like a bar kind of setup.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're everywhere.
Yeah.
And you're just getting started. I love it.
And so, how did you decide that you wanted to go in Hickory Ridge? How did it develop that you got the Wolf Chase, and how did you ink Makita's homemade butter cookies and Mardi Gras to use your lemonade?
So with Hickory Ridge Mall, we actually went to go get our iPad fixed. And so, because we went to an event, we saw this vendor, he fixed iPads, he was in Hickory Ridge Mall. We went there, saw all these beautiful open spaces.
I love it. That's that entrepreneur in her.
And then we actually moved in about like April. Had our grand opening. Amazing turnout.
Yeah.
Wolf Chase, we've been doing Wolf Chase for quite a bit now.
Okay.
Before we got there, we were doing actually like a 10-week kind of thing.
Okay.
So we were doing that, but then it turned into a space was open, and we were able to.
So it kind of started as a pop-up?
So it started as a pop-up, originally like National Popcorn Day. So it would be us and Pops Colonel next to each other for the weekend.
Shout out to Pops Colonel, by the way.
Shout out to Pops Colonel. And then the leasing rep had the lemonade at the fair. Because Kinyah did 2 fairs last year.
Okay.
And offered an opportunity to come in for 10 weeks for the holiday traffic to see how things were going to go.
Okay.
She's the first kid business that they've had as a tenant, permanent tenant.
Wow.
And so the community basically started calling in, trying to figure out, do I have to drive all the way back there to get the lemonade or is it in the store? And so it kind of put her on their radar in a different perspective. Instead of a kid business, maybe this is something that should stick around because our customers want it. And they asked her to stay. So we did.
Wow. And so on GRINDSET, one of the other things we like, when there's an exclusive, we like to announce it on the show. And so I don't even know if the ink has officially dried yet.
Hopefully.
Would you mind
Hopefully.
here on GRINDSET telling us about the next phase of business for Be Chill?
So the next phase of business for Be Chill Lemonade, drum roll please.
FedEx Form!
Whoa, that's incredible.
Jeremy, drop the bombs for us.
Whoop, whoop.
All right, we don't have bombs, but that's a great announcement.
Yes, congratulations.
Yeah, Be Chill Lemonade is the exclusive premium lemonade beverage for FedEx Forum.
Okay.
Now, go ahead, Cynthia.
So now I'm curious, right? So you're already in different malls. You're working with restaurants. How do you make sure you have enough staff to support FedEx Forum? Because they have an event like every other day, right?
Call the staff. Tell me where they at. Pull up. Where you at? You've been slacking this whole entire time.
Well, we just pray and wake up and just do what we need to do.
She's full of personality.
We have one additional person, which is my mom, who's full time. But other than that, the 4 you have here is who makes all the magic happen.
Wow.
Now, before I ask you about the mechanics of getting this FedEx deal done, are you still squeezing lemons by hand?
We've moved on from that thing.
Yes and no.
It's a lot of lemons.
Yes and no. Lately we have since November because we've been transitioning out of Hickory Ridge Mall. So all equipment have not been moved.
Okay.
So the commercial equipment that's usually juicing and doing all the good stuff for us, we haven't had. So we are cutting by hand, squeezing by hand since November.
It's a lot of work. Now,
pray for my hands.
Now we have a little bit over 2 minutes left. Let's talk about the mechanics of getting this FedEx deal done. Who approached who? How long did it take? And how does it work mechanically, as much as you can right now?
Oh, no problem. So basically, we believe that it's important to write down your goals, write the vision, make it plain. That's biblical, and wanting to know what direction she see herself and what does she want. Because I don't want to take over. Dad doesn't want to take over. We really want it to continually be her.
Okay.
Because I believe if it's continually having her voice, she'll continue to do it. And so I asked her, what are her goals? What are some things you want to accomplish in 2020? And it was a part of a long list of things that she wanted to do. So I began she's a member of the Chamber of Commerce.
Awesome.
So I began to send it to them. She has a banker by the name of Mr. Rod Loggins. I sent it to him. Just people who I believe could help figure out ways to make some of these things happen with a quality product and great customer service that we already have. And so Mr. Rod was like, well, I have a possibility with being on the board. He's on the board for the Grizzlies. And so he sent the information in, and they absolutely loved it. Thought it would be an amazing idea. They've been wanting a lemonade stand, and so they was like, let's connect. And so it has taken us almost a month, I believe.
No time.
because we are on it.
Okay.
I'm thinking a year, right?
No, we are on our stuff. Everything you ask, we're going to do. We're going to deliver, and we're going to overachieve. And so that's really what helped the process to become very speedy. And here we are now. They even did a background check on my 7-year-old.
Wow.
Yeah.
He is managing, right?
10 years. I said, tell me what the first 3 said, because we weren't even to make sure you are good to work at the forum, son.
Ooh, what do you mean?
Right. So real quick, we're about to wrap up. I mean, this has been an amazing roller coaster ride in the studio. How do we find Be Chill Lemonade? Social media, website, phone numbers. Can you give us that information, please? And
even where you're going to be located in FedEx.
Right.
In the FedEx Forum, we're going to be located in 107, 108.
Okay.
That's on the plaza level.
Yes.
Okay.
And then also you can connect with us on all forms of social media at Be Chill Lemonade. Then we have a website, bechill.com, bechilllemonade.com.
And the phone number.
Oh, 901-871-8782.
Thank you all for coming on the show of GRINDSET, dropping an exclusive, and also sharing your story. We were so glad to have you, and I had a lot of fun today.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, me too.
You've been listening to GRINDSET, powered by the KUDZUKIAN Network, and we'll be right back after the break.
GRINDSET.
We're getting funky, y'all.
And we have to thank Dick Durbin for being strong enough to actually come out of the Oval Office and say, hey, by the way.
Because he didn't have to say it, did he?
He didn't have to say it,
and I appreciate it.
Because I tell people all the time, just because you skin folk don't mean you kin folk.
It's Funky Politics on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
KUDZUKIAN.
Welcome back to GRINDSET. We just finished interviewing the Be Chill Lemonade family. And if you're not impressed by that, I don't know what will impress you. And I just had a few major keys from the family that they shared. One is empower your children. You never know the potential if we continue to put limits on them. 2, as far as business is concerned, get your name out there. I mean, you don't have a product. You can have a product, but if no one knows you have it, then you're not in business. And Be Chill put flyers out on cars, and that's how they got started in business. 3, explore the talents of your family. All the skills you need to run a successful business may already be present. If not, you can always hire, but explore your personal strengths and talents and skills and explore that of your family. And then lastly, set goals, share them with everyone you know, and go after it with tenacity. Cynthia?
Incredible interview. And for me, I was just inspired by the entire Be Chill Lemonade family. So my quote today is really for all of them. It says, I hope the fathers and mothers of little girls would look at them and say, yes, women can. And that's from Dilma Rousseff. And they're just a very tight unit. I love that they know how to be a family, but then also work together, and they know how to separate. And that's a beautiful thing.
Yes, women can.
Yes.
Yes, girls can. Yes, we can. You've been listening to GRINDSET, powered by the KUDZUKIAN Network, and we'll see you next episode.
GRINDSET, executive producer, Epicenter. GRINDSET is directed, produced, and distributed by KUDZUKIAN.
R&R on Sports.
Pitcher, left-hander, Vita Blue. Welcome to R&R on Sports.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be on. Let's get it on, man. Let's talk to baseball.
That's right.
Talk to sports.
It's R&R on Sports.
KUDZUKIAN.